Go. Is that good? All right, good afternoon. So today we did our earnings call early this morning, so we're going to go through that presentation on an abbreviated. Do I need to use this too?
Yeah, you got to use that so these
Sorry.
people can hear. Sorry
Okay,
about that.
we're going to start one more time. So this morning we did our earnings call. We're going to go through that deck in an abbreviated version. I think in terms of the people in the room, who's familiar with the story? I'm thinking a lot of people are, right? So, all right, we'll do a quick overview. There you got the Safe Harbor Act. So Summit is really two organizations under one umbrella. One is the technology side. We have custom wireless modules. We put those onto Wi-Fi modules they could build into speakers or TVs. Oh, but that still shows up, right? So the modules will go into WISA certified speakers, WISA certified TVs, AV receivers. The result is when that module goes in there, they paid me $9, $10, $11. So that's how we make our money. Also, we manage the industry standard called WISA, which is has more than 60 members, 60 brands in it. And part of what WISA does for us is, if you think about it, when you're in the wireless world, you have to know what signal is being sent and what signal is coming. Now, if you're a closed system, like most of Apple's systems are, most of Bose, they know what's being sent and what's coming. If you're an open system and you want to use multiple brands, so if you want an LG TV to talk to a Clip speaker or a Bang & Olufsen speaker to talk to LG TV, well, you got to have a set of protocol to make sure you know how to talk to each other. So WISA manages that interoperability. It certifies the product. It works with retailers to build the category when retailers were open. They're technically open, but not really. And that's important. For the consumer, it gives the consumer the brand, just like an HDMI or Bluetooth, to know what they're buying. So generally, they know that this WISA product will work with that WISA product, right? Now this is covered up, but this last quarter in October, we added 7 more members to WISA, 11 more brands, and 2 of the more important ones are Skyworth and Hisense. Oh, there we go. I'm not dual-handed. Okay. So Skyworth claims to be the largest domestic manufacturer in China of TVs. So we've had Toshiba, Philips, Sharp, LG as members. Now we have the largest Chinese manufacturer as a member, and Hisense. Now Hisense is distributed here. They are Chinese. They're probably, I've seen one survey saying they're top 5 in the world of TVs. You'll see them in the big box stores. They've become very aggressive, right? So those are the 2 big notables of the members. We announced last quarter in Q3 a product called SoundSend. This, I think, is fundamental to our growth. It is a small little puck, plugs into the TV through the HDMI ARC. So it lets any of the 800 billion HDMI smart TVs that are in the market communicate to any WISA certified speakers. And for the consumer, this is just as simple as setting up a soundbar. 2 steps. 1 HDMI cable, plug your electrical devices, in this case speakers, into the wall outlet. And that product will automatically connect to any WISA speakers in the room. Doesn't matter if they're $800 speakers from Platin or $40,000 speakers from B&O. It'll connect to them, it'll distribute it. So this is important in terms of making the market. This gives a consumer an easy way. This gives the speaker companies who really just want to do speakers. They don't want to do transmitters. They don't really want to do electronics. It gives them the knowledge that there'll be a broadly distributed product for them to connect to, and all they have to do is worry about speakers, building speakers. And so WISA decided to brand it, and they will distribute it to make sure that this product is distributed worldwide, make sure that it is cheap. It's not our objective with this product to make 50 points of margin. Our objective is enable the market, right, for the speakers. And finally, for the TV guys, what they see in this product, and they're all looking at it, is if you think about your family experience, a lot of the content that people are watching, 15 years ago was all on the TV, and it's progressively moved to the tablets, the laptops, the phones, the big phones, the little phones. Well, this gives the TV guys a way to bring the family entertainment experience back around that TV by making the cinema sound, right? So you don't go to the cinema to hear a sound bar. You go to the cinema to hear sound behind you, in front of you, to the side of you, above you. So the TV can become the center of family night, right? So a lot of interest from the speaker guys, a lot of interest from the TV guys, and we'll make sure that it's distributed worldwide. Since a year ago, this list has expanded quite a bit. Now, whether you're looking for a soundbar, whether you're looking for $40,000 music speakers or $10,000 music speakers, the Europeans do a lot of them, whether you're looking for a 5.1 premium audio, say from Clips or Harman, or you're just looking for a great cost affordable surround sound, all form factors are in the product lineup now. Everything from $799 or $699 up to, there's a couple speakers that Bang & Olufsen has, a pair is going to cost you $80,000. So we got the range. We got smart sound bars. If you look at the Savant product, some of you may have it. They have the control system built into their sound bar. They have WiSA built into their home sound bar to connect to all these speakers. So lots of speaker types. This is just a sample. Conversely, also, in terms of connecting to those speakers, you've all heard that have followed the story, know about LG and Xbox, but we added Skyworth. They're building TX into their top product line called Sculpture One under the Mets brand. And then Roku and Enclave partnered up so that the Roku TVs can recognize the Enclave hub and stream 5.1 to the whole room, just like LG has. So broader connectivity, plethora of speaker brands. I'm doing a terrible job of staying in front of here, sorry. That's like 3 factors, right?
For the people at home anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so if when you think about a $40,000 system, you can believe it's going to be good. But what about those $700, $900 ones? So we pulled a few clips. Now you can go out to Amazon and look through the reviews, but consumers get it. Consumers that have bought it are getting that these sub $1,000 systems pack a lot of power and a lot of great audio experience. So we think that means they will perform very well against sound bars. Now, your audio experience, if you think about it, TV's the worst, better with a sound bar, even better with a Bose or a Sonos or a who else? Bose, Sony soundbar for $800. Better with a subwoofer. Okay, then it gets a little bit better with rear speakers in that configuration. Because when you think about what you see on the screen, 90% of your audio is tied to the front screen. So adding the rears helps a little, but it's when you separate those speakers in the front and get a left speaker, a center speaker for voice, and a right speaker, that you get that whole wall of sound going on everything you see. The rear speakers have good ambient sound, and that helps, like the movie theater, but it's when you separate the front that makes a difference. So when you compare some of these lower end WiSA certified speakers, surround sound in a box, these are $899, $999, yet they're delivering a better sound than an $1,800 system from Bose or Sony or Sonos, right? And that's generally the price tier of premium soundbar system with rear speakers and a sub. So we think, given the reviews, the price positioning, that we're setting up a powerful year. On top of good reviews for our customers, we also have a lot of traffic growing on the WiSA website. So a year ago when I was here, we would have had in Q3 19, 3,400 people. But that's also when LG and Clips finally started announcing their products and putting them into the retail. And that web traffic has continued to grow every quarter. And the traffic comes in from web referrals, it comes in from reviews, from open boxes, from a program we call Wave Advertising, which is cooperative advertising between brands. And it continues to grow. We think in Q4, we'll hit 150,000 or more visitors to the WISA website. Now, if you haven't been to the WISA website, what it has is most of our products, they're rolling out pretty fast. So we tend to miss them for a little while. But a lot of the products, all the brands, gives the consumers the ability to look at different options and features. So what's important to us when we see in September, 10% of the visitors were return visitors. Well, in October and the first week of November, that's up to 17%. So that's good. To us, that's a good sign of engagement. The time on site is up 22%. So volume's up, engagement's up, frequency of return is up. So we reported out first time this quarter, something that we had thought we'd report out, beginning of in the Q1 earnings before COVID hit. But revenue was up to 607. That's a 45% year-over-year increase. We've guided to more than 100% growth year-over-year for Q4. So it's 100% plus. Our margins are improving as we said they would with volume. And we have $9 million of cash on hand. Now, we've called this the inflection point. And if you think about it, it's because what we've been saying for the last year and a half is what started showing up, and it's going to continue. You'll see more members in WISA. You'll see more TV and projector members in WISA. You'll see more brands shipping WISA speakers as we go into Q4 in 2021. You'll see SoundSending helping increase speaker sales, and you'll see more TV brands engage with WISA and more volume with those TV brands. Right? And before we leave, this is the holiday season and this is the gift giving season. So before we go to Q&A, just a small plug for those great little surround sounds in a box that you can order. All you got to do is wrap it and wait for the surprise smiles. Okay, that's all. The clicks are all there. You can download this presentation, click on the Platinum or the Enclave or the Axum links. If you want to build a complete system, the WISA ready LG TVs are fabulous. Now I'll take questions. Yes, sir.
There are other standards that are wireless that undoubtedly will want to compete with you. How do you defend against, say, let's say we have a low latency Bluetooth or a much lower latency Wi-Fi?
Yeah, so.
Repeat the question.
Okay, so the question is, how would we compete against other standards that might come along, say a low latency Bluetooth or a low latency Wi-Fi chip, right? So technically, we actually use a Wi-Fi 11A radio. Right? So it's not so much the radio, it's what the standards allow. And if you followed the story, we have talked about taking the IP in our chips and modifying it for Wi-Fi chips, because the Wi-Fi chips are getting more enhanced. Right now, we said in the last call that we would launch the first of those products on a Wi-Fi IoT device this quarter. So that's coming. Now, you will not get the performance that we are delivering here. So we describe that as an effort to make sure we own the good enough, not just the best in the market. Right, so the latency is higher. This customer base, the premium audio base, the middle tier audio base isn't going to use it. But if you're talking about the $300 soundbar with maybe Rear's $200 soundbar, that's what it's targeted to. If you're talking about an expensive Bluetooth application for a subwoofer, that's what it's targeted to. So we actually are ready to ride as soon as the Wi-Fi chips expand their capability. Bluetooth, not worth wasting my time on.
Thank you.
Yep.
Well, maybe you should talk about Bluetooth just
Okay.
because I think it's the part that people don't really understand. about the difference here between what you're doing and what they're getting out of a Bluetooth speaker. And anybody that's actually tried to listen, if you try to use Bluetooth in a,
Correct.
to create reasonable audio, then you know what I'm talking about. But it's just really not apples to apples.
Yeah, you're not going to get the latency. You're not going to get the channel count. So part of surround sound is the issue of how many channels do you need? And the industry trend in audio is to go to ceiling speakers, although they may not be in the ceiling and maybe directionally up speakers. So that's Dolby Atmos. So now it's not just 6 speakers or 8 speakers, can we get 10 or 12, right? So it's really a channel count. Bluetooth currently is 1. Now maybe they stretch it to 2 or 4, but that's it, right? They're not going to stretch Bluetooth because of the technology to 6, 8, 10 channels. They're not, right?
It was never designed to do that. Right?
No, it's really a near field personal wireless device. So it's great for comm communications, but latency is the worst on Bluetooth because the worst latency you can have in a product is variable. So one time is 20 milliseconds. Well, they never do that. 40 milliseconds. Another time is 150 milliseconds. You can't design a product around a variable equation easily. Now, if it were always 40 milliseconds and you wanted 20 milliseconds of delay, well, you could design a product with some memory to compensate for that. Okay. But then you get into interoperability questions. So we're pro Wi-Fi getting better, and we've been morphing our chip to demonstrate and be ready for that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So can you speak a little bit to the sort of the next generation and what I don't know if there's any reason to believe that this next generation, maybe you should explain what that is first, but is it, I'm trying to get my arms around whether that changes adoption at all, or if there are products that you'd see then with the next generation that you're not seeing today that you think would be more appealing to consumers, I guess, that would speed adoption.
Yeah. So look, this investor deck, because we've been beaten down so hard, is highly focused on what are you going to see this month, this quarter, this coming year, right? Because there's a tremendous amount of progress that's rolling into the P&L and you're going to see. But what's going to happen, what Dave's talking about is what we refer to as Gen 2. So taking the IP that's in the chips and enhancing it so we can use a low-cost IoT Wi-Fi module to stream multi-channel audio, but in a quality perspective, right? Not in this perspective that makes sense for the consumer. So, what was the question?
The next generation.
Oh, so the next generation is really,
that's a different kind of form factor too, and just sort of how does that?
Yeah. So the next generation can have multiple form factors, right? So it can come, first implementation will be on an IoT Wi-Fi module, but we have demonstrated that IP running on a cell phone processor streaming to Google Cast smart speakers in a 5.1. Now that's a prototype, it was a couple of years back. The ecosystem has to come along. But the point is, for that market, the good enough, not the premium audio market, you got 1 billion cell phones, you got 200 million tablets, you got 30 to 50 million gaming consoles, you got 250 million smart TVs. All of them have streaming content coming in, and all of them are potential home for a low-cost module or some IP to run on more advanced Wi-Fi chips. But our strength is synchronizing speakers together and doing multi-channel, right? And so we're agnostic to the bandwidth that the chips will if the radio chips will let us do it.
Others? Okay, I just want to remind everybody that we have one of the new Platinum Monaco systems. It's not here because you can't buy it yet, right?
You can't. Black Cyber Monday, I think,
Okay, so,
give or take a
so
couple
for
days.
those who
They're
are
in the
still
air.
here, so for those who are, when all the presentations are over, we're going to give everybody an opportunity to win one of the systems. I don't have it here to give to you, but I promise I'll ship it to you because it's not December 1st yet. So when we're all said and done, we'll draw a name out of the hat or however I decide it's going to work, and somebody will walk away with those. And that's what, $900 retail, I guess.
Yes, an $899 list price.
So
That's a great system, by the way. It is a great system. We've been running demos for 4 weeks in Japan, and we got another 3 weeks, and they're blown away. And we've been running it against a Sony soundbar. And it boggles my mind that these very senior executives from all these companies have forgotten what true surround sound delivers versus a soundbar. And they go, oh, that is better than a soundbar. It's like, do you want 36 inches of sound or do you want 10 feet of sound in front of you? Yeah.
yeah, I think the other thing too that's important is that with that system, but I think the other thing we are starting to see, which we sort of felt like we would, although I think really part of the story here has been kind of slower adoption by the early adopters, really. I mean, I'm not sure that I believe that, and I always thought originally that Klipsch and some of those people would sort of
Push it.
do a lot of this themselves. And that just kind of is not how it's happened. And so I think that's been part of the reason why the adoption and all has been slower and why your business hasn't been as robust as we originally planned. I think, as I said, I think that's coming. But
So to that point, do I have 2 minutes?
sure.
Okay. So I think actually there was 2 major achievements we got this year beyond customer adoption and all that. One is SoundSend, because that really makes the market. But the second is what we talked about in the summer call, the Q2 call about WISA Wave. So what happens with WISA Association, right? We have the ability to market across multiple brands. So Chris knows this. So you run a digital ad, right? 97% give or take of your money is wasted because you got a 3% click through. So now once those people click through, you're in the middle of the sales funnel. You found somebody that's interested. Well, right now, every individual WISA member and every individual consumer electronics company is just marketing their individual brand. But we've run a series of tests in September where I can run an ad, it lands with a good, better, best. So for example, in this case, it'd be Platin Enclave Axum, or it could be LG TVs that are WISA ready with Platin and clips. And what happens is, not only does the learn more or buy now click go up dramatically, you get 2 clicks, 1.8 clicks on products versus 1. So if you're just sitting there with Platin only or LG only, they can only click to LG. But in fact, what happened is they clicked to 2 brands almost, 1.8 brands. So now I know who's interested, and all of the WISA members can then go and remarket to that engaged consumer versus starting at the top of the funnel and wasting 97% of their money. So I think as speaker companies aren't the most innovative, so it's going to take a little while, but I truly think this is going to be the most impactful thing you'll see next year in our P&L.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.